Support for this podcast comes from St. Alphonsus Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinics, with physicians, physical therapists, and trainers who treat sports and performance-related injuries, with locations across the valley. More information on services and locations at stalphonsus.org/stayactive.
Congress is now deciding the future of funding for public radio and public television. Hello, this is Tom Michael, General Manager of Boise State Public Radio. This rescission request, or clawback of approved funding, passed through the U.S. House, and now it's before the U.S. Senate. This is the time to let your senator from Idaho know about your support of the news and music that public radio provides. Contact information at protectmypublicmedia.org.
Good morning, it's the Connector, Idaho Daily News. From Boise State Public Radio, I'm Troy Oppie. One of Idaho's top budget writers isn't worried about lagging tax revenue or what it might mean for the state budget in coming years. Boise City Council tonight is expected to approve a request to ask voters for $11 million over the next 2 years to pay for more public parks and open spaces. Plus, the City of Nampa is revamping its comprehensive plan, the document used to guide long-term planning. Those stories and lots more this morning on the Connector, Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. Idaho ended its fiscal year in June with $345 million to spare, despite lagging tax collections the past few months. As James Dawson reports, one of the state's top budget writers isn't worried.
From July 2024 through June 2025, Idaho took in $5.5 billion in taxes.
Our revenue numbers are solid, which is reflective of a solid economy here in Idaho.
That's Republican Representative Wendy Horman, who co-chairs the legislature's Budget Committee. Personal and corporate income tax collections are up, but sales tax revenues are still declining, with overall revenue down $95 million from projections. Governor Brad Little's budget team told state agencies in May to plan for possible spending cuts of up to 6% in the current fiscal year. Horman says that's simply prudent budgeting when the effects of federal tariffs and market fluctuations were less steady.
You don't get a AAA credit rating if you're being an irresponsible budgeter. It's not how that works.
The Little administration warned the $450 million in tax cuts he signed earlier this year will likely cut revenue in the short term, though they expect economic growth to continue surging in the future. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
Idaho has joined nearly every other U.S. state and territory in adopting next-generation 911 systems. NG 911 is an advanced digital emergency call system that allows text messages, location data, and separate 911 jurisdictions to act as backup systems for each other. The State Department of Emergency Management yesterday announced that Idaho's Public Safety Communications Commission approved spending $15 million in grant funding to transition every remaining county in Idaho to the next-gen 911 technology. The funding comes from the 25-cent surcharge on cell phone bills. Those upgrades will roll out in phases. State officials, though, did not provide a specific timeline. 42 of 44 Idaho counties will receive the grant funding. The state's 911 system coordinator told me Ada County is already under contract to upgrade. Another county, which he didn't identify, is still evaluating whether or not to accept the grant. Idaho Congressman Russ Fulcher is hosting a telephone town hall today, starting at 6 p.m. Fulcher's press team announced the event in a post online dated June 9th, but do not appear to have widely distributed the press release promoting it. Fulcher represents Idaho's 1st congressional district that includes North and Central Idaho and the Western Treasure Valley. The telephone number to participate is on the congressman's website, fulcher.house.gov. Again, that teletown hall begins at 6 p.m. Mountain Time tonight. The Boise City Council tonight is expected to approve a request to voters for a new tax on the ballot this November, an $11 million levy that would fund new public parks and open space. The ask will be the third in a line of previous levies dating back to 2001, which have helped buy multiple city parks and thousands of acres in the foothills. The city says funds from the most recent open space levy in 2015 are nearly gone. The new tax would add about $10 per $100,000 of taxable property value for 2 years. It's part of tonight's consent agenda. That means it's likely to be approved without formal debate unless specifically requested by a council member. The city of Nampa will revamp its comprehensive plan, the document used to guide long-term planning and zoning decisions. The city has dubbed the project Nampa 2050, Planning Our Future Together. They're starting with a survey that opened to the public Monday and a series of pop-up info booths and open house events for residents to learn more and provide feedback. Details and a link to the survey, which will be active through this fall, are online at cityofnampa.us/2050. Nampa and its neighbor Caldwell are both growing fast, of course, including into the borders of neighboring Vallivue School District. Idaho Ed News reports 2 new elementary schools planned on opposite ends of the district between Caney County's 2 largest cities will help current overcrowding, but Assistant Superintendent Joseph Palmer predicts they'll be full too in just 5 years. Caldwell and Nampa City Councils keep approving new developments. Palmer described Vallivue Schools to Idaho Ed News as at the mercy of voters' willingness to pass bonds that fund school construction and at the mercy of the 2 city councils to take feedback from the district before approving developments. Caldwell City Council member Diana Register told Ed News she hopes growth can be smart. It doesn't have to stop, but it needs to be balanced with long-term infrastructure planned now. State lawmakers passed a law last year that gives Idahoans the ability to request content deemed, quote, harmful to minors be age-restricted to adults only in local libraries and schools. As Jamie Geary reports, one bookstore is hosting an event challenging this and other local book bans.
House Bill 710 has been challenged by publishing houses, private schools, and the Donnelly Public Library District since it was implemented a year ago. But the restrictions are still in effect. For the last 5 years, Rediscovered Books and the writing organization The Cabin have been giving away copies of books that have made it onto banned book lists. Co-owner Rebecca Crosswhite says the program, Read Freely, started as a response to content restrictions in Idaho school districts.
It's not getting better. It's not swinging back yet. And so we need to continue to fight for our rights to read whatever we want to read.
This year, publisher Macmillan pitched in, donating more than 200 copies of newly released novel Under the Same Stars by Libba Bray. Other books include The Serviceberry, Lone Women, and Trans History, a graphic novel. Crosswhite hopes the program will help readers expand their perspectives.
You are able to see and have that empathy for the people that are not like you and that you've never even maybe seen or interacted with.
Supporters of the state law say libraries have given minors access to materials they call harmful and pornographic. Jamie Geary, Boise State Public Radio News.
Rediscovered Books is a financial supporter of Boise State Public Radio. And that's your connector on this Tuesday, July 15th. Our general manager is Tom Michael. Our news director is Sasha Woodruff. Our digital strategy manager is Lacey Daly. I'm Troy Oppie. Have a great day. We'll catch you back here again tomorrow.
These days, there's so much news, it can be hard to keep up with what it all means for you, your family, and your community. The Consider This podcast from NPR features our award-winning journalism. 6 days a week, we bring you a deep dive on a news story and provide the context and analysis that helps you make sense of the news. We get behind the headlines. We get to the truth. Listen to the Consider This podcast from NPR.